Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Zhao with lots of pride hosting this East-West Show for many years. Under G&E TV, we put our efforts together to bring as much information as you need, as much information as necessary to be referential, to be supportive to your life. My dear audience, we love you. Yes, today, once again, we're talking about the big event in Beijing, which just wrapped up. However, that marks the start, the initiality of the whole thing called the Belt and the Road, right? Which has drawn the attention of the least 29 countries or 30 countries, attended by thousands of leaders and decision makers of different countries and regions gathered in Beijing. Today with my good friend, a big friend I would say, an important friend I would say, who travels between United States and China, namely between Qingdao and a city in Shandong called Weihai, right? Okay. An educator, a political commentator, my dear friend Lo Wei. Welcome to the show, please.
Jack, nice to meet you again, and hello, my dear friends.
All right. And good news keeps coming. Good news gets only better. I heard that you recently got promoted. Not promoted. I mean, as a matter of fact, you are elevated yourself. Now you are the board member of the Weihai Foreign Language Experimental School.
Experimental foreign language school, let me correct you.
Experimental foreign language school.
The other order. That's right.
All right.
Is right.
And thank you for showing me the picture of your building, 16 stories, right?
That is correct. One of the buildings.
All right, very good. So congratulations on that one.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
And we go back a little bit. About 4 years ago, when he started the experimental school on a pilot basis with the city of Weihai in China, Shandong province. And like 2 years in a row, we keep seeing good results. At that school, he tries to combine the American curriculum with the Chinese curriculum, together producing a third one, which is two combined. That is proven to be effective. I would say more effective, because I myself at the show for twice tested the student that he brought in. They speak better English than the kids of their own age, and they know better basic of physics, of chemistry, of mathematics than kids of their own age. So, what for, right?
That's right. And let me make add on what you just presented, that they are more thinkable and thoughtful about what they learn and what the life would be.
Yes,
so
yes. And
they have compared to their peers in China who came from the traditional Chinese school,
yes,
that they are more critically thinker. They are more analytically in thinking. So that's
together, I'm under the impression those kids that I met, interviewed on the show, were kind of more responsible. They think more than the other kids too, like their ski boards, their whatever thing.
That's right. That's right.
Their jeans or their T-shirts, stuff like that.
That's right.
And they cared about, they even asked me about the President of the United States and the structure of the House.
That is correct.
Like that.
And Jack, I happily reported to you that the first group of kids that you interviewed are now all studying in the U.S. universities and colleges already now.
I see.
At the moment we're talking, we're discussing.
I see. All right. So sometime please bring them back.
I will.
On the show.
I will try.
Right?
Thank you.
And on that new school, it is not a new job. It is talking about a separate tasks of the Weihai Experimental Foreign Language School, where you are a board member. What kind of structure is that, please?
Jack, basically it is a new set of a school that based and built on with the same ideology that we're trying to build up a school on picking up the best of both systems or multiple systems in education from the world. Namely, basically, we're trying to build up a school based upon the best of Chinese education system and philosophy, and also best of American education system and philosophy, and put them together, trying to create a curriculum that will benefit our youngsters and generations to come, that they can enjoy both systems in a lot of advantages, so that they can grow up and graduate in a different path than the traditional Chinese school graduates.
I see. Do you by any chance need American teachers or instructors?
Oh, definitely. Thank you very much for raising that question. At this moment,
because I want to volunteer.
Yeah, please.
You pay, right?
Of course we pay.
All right,
we
good.
pay, but not much. Basically, it is publicly sponsored.
Kind of like
it is publicly sponsored, because it is sponsored by the local public education district, and also it's operated by us, namely that me as a foreign Chinese American going to China to conduct education business, and also we invite another domestic education group. We all are privately operated, so we just basically manage the school, operating school under the private sector management.
In other words, you are a private sector supported by the local government.
Precisely.
That's the most beautiful thing.
Precisely.
Because government has endless resources.
That is correct.
And for private sectors, you are enjoying the total freedom.
We have the freedom, and also we have more. We have more accessibility to the education systems throughout the world.
The reason I'm asking is that I believe that among my audiences, you never know who they are. Right? Sometimes somebody very, very important popped up. I would wonder if that kind of person insisted in my audience group, roll me, say, hey, Jack, we like your show, something like that, right? So you never know who they are. So among them, or my dear audience, among you, well, you might have to be, you might be the one just retired looking for somewhere to have fun, right? Money is not an issue, but it's issue not a very important issue. And live in other countries with living assessment or necessities or accommodations paid, right? And enjoy the shore, the ocean air, right? And take your wife, your lovely girlfriend, or whoever.
And also your dogs.
And
Dog or dogs.
And walk your dog, or something like that. And then teach those kids English, American concept, American values, stuff like that.
That's right.
That's not bad.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you for your commercial. Actually,
that is an infomercial.
That is not.
You have to pay me if you call it commercial.
My dear audience, I didn't pay Jack to say that.
No. Yeah, if you call it commercial, I'm going to send you an invoice for that. How about that?
I'm ready to pay for it.
It's an infomercial. We want our folks to be informed that there is chances that you can donate your knowledge, your part of a love to the world, to the next generation.
That is correct. And to be specific, that thank you, Jack, for mentioning that.
Sure.
I think that dear audience, if you are just retired and looking for something that you can still doing, and also potential your value, that this is probably an opportunity for you. And because the school will pay for international travel and also your living and board expenses, living in the city, and also share your life experience and your career experience, and most importantly, your language skill with Chinese students, high school students in the city. And this is probably the opportunity.
Let's say it. I'll take a vacation, all right, this coming summer, and you cover my accommodation, whatever. I'll go there, do it for free. How about that?
That's the deal.
Okay, very good. Sounds very beautiful, all right? So my dear audience, we today touch base with you about our people around me, our friends around me that I admire so much, because they have, they are thinkers. They have ideas that all the time make lots of sense, such as to put the U.S. educational system, the curriculum in a word, if you may, with that of Chinese to create a new one that combines everything together. As a result, you see better kids. And that is the result is recognized by everybody, by the United States. That's why we decided to support. As you can see, many shows talking about that, and supported by the Chinese side, Chinese government to say, hey, here's the building, go ahead and use it. We won't charge you, like that kind of thing. So, and that is good. Now, my dear audience, let's take a very short break. When we come back, we'll take a perspective of education to see how we can imply our educational concept to the big strategy of the world, the Belt and the Road. Stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks. Oh, by the way, my shoulder is still trying to bother me. That's why I'm wearing this cotton padded to keep me warm. All right, so do I look better in it?
Yeah, you look more handsome.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. All right. Today with me in the discussion about the Belt and the Road, in which we want to talk about education, is my good friend, Mr. Wei Luo, founder and CEO of the California Sunshine Educational Center, and also of Weihai number 1 high school, and of Weihai Experimental Foreign Language School. So, sir, welcome to the show once again.
Glad to be back.
Okay. As a friend, I'm so glad to see you making a step of progress each time I see you. I see you on a yearly basis, you make it on a yearly basis. I see you monthly basis, you do it on a monthly basis.
I'll try.
That's a good part of you.
Thank you, man.
And starting next week, I'll see you daily basis. How about that?
Thank you, John.
Very good.
I will try, yeah. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you for your good words.
With the, thank you. We share the common ground in lots of areas, except that we're talking about how much you want to cover me and expenses when I'm in China. Okay, kidding. Okay. Now, we're talking about the Belt and the Road, right? And that was a concept put up by China for like 3 years already.
More than 3 years ago, I
yeah.
think.
What's your general understanding about it, please?
Yeah, I think this is to me as an educator and also business owner in the education business. I think this is a unique opportunity for the education between U.S. and China, and also China and other Asian, East Asian, and European countries. Number one is that this is that the initiative that China trying to share its success experience with other countries in the infrastructure as well as connectability.
All right, connectability
yes, with other countries, because in the past 30 years, China emerged from bottom line country in the world in terms of social and economic development factors index to the second largest world economy, and also number 2 second largest trade country. I mean, number 1 trade country in the world, and also number 2 a lot of infrastructure constructions, whichever you put it away. And we talked a lot about how China that wraps out the world in terms of infrastructure construction. And also, if every time I visit China, I see the changes in every areas of the social life.
Exactly so.
And
exactly
also
so.
economic life. I think people changes. People are more smiling, and more people collect more wealth than never before. And as a matter of fact, that China accomplished what other countries accomplished within 200 years, but China did it within 30 years or 30 more years.
You're right.
That is phenomenal achievement.
Very much so.
That China has achieved. Now is the time for China to share its success experience as well as share its wealth with countries in the other regions and locations. I think that's a big deal for the rest of the world as well as China. And also in terms of education business, I think that China, this is something that China need to open up its door more wider than ever before in terms of its infrastructure construction. Because system in China now is still conducting the way that how education should be done 100 years ago in this country.
All right. Okay.
So I think that what the U.S. system can benefit, can help China to do in terms of education.
All right.
And that's my takeaway from the Belt and Road initiative in education.
Yeah.
So I think that also as the upgrading of this system, I mean our program into experimental foreign language school you just mentioned in the first sector of this program, that it's a greater opportunity for us to explore in education as well as the way of educations to do what education that U.S. education can help Chinese education, or vice versa, the Chinese education also can benefit U.S. education system. So it's a great opportunity for the educators in two countries to getting together and talking more about how we can do more in this sector. It's a time thing.
That's a very good comment. I like that, because as an educator, you have your own perspective, right?
That's right.
You're talking about money, right? Number one, we'll put it that way. We see quite often.
We didn't talk about money.
Oh, no. What I see is that I more often than not see friends who I haven't seen for years all of a sudden show up, say, "Okay, I want to pay back to the society, and find me an event I want to support, because I'm now capable of doing so." Every time I see friends like that, I kind of like two thumbs up, say, "Hey, you're wonderful," like that, right? So China, if you think China as a person, as a human being, one single human being, for the past 30 years, due to whatever reason, they made money, right? Now they want to feed back. They want to pay back to the rest of the world. It's exactly the same thing. Now China is paying back.
That's right.
With altogether how much? I mean, say,
100 billion
RMB
ended up
paying outside world. Whoever wants to join to develop themselves, develop. Go ahead.
That's right. That's basically according to your information that according to Xi Jinping's announcement that China added another additional 100 billion RMB to AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, the AIIB, and that's the extra contribution that China made to this bank, in addition to what China has made based upon its share in the bank trust seeds. I think that's China really did great things. And also one thing that really amazed me is that the Trump administration decided to send delegation to join the forum this time. I really feel excited about the how these two countries can get together on this initiative. That will be that is something I'm really eager to see what will happen next.
Lots of people got surprised by the by the last minute decision of joining. And if you check about the time frame, you will find out, you'll be quite surprised that the decision was made just leaving enough time to fly over there.
That is correct. That is correct. And that's a success of diplomatic
we're a few hours
that's
ahead of the schedule.
That's right.
So
that's a smart move. That is a very smart move for this administration.
Yes, exactly.
Although Mr. President is now overwhelmed by a lot of things going around him in the White House.
This is one of the very few times he was so amazed, he was so complimented.
Although I didn't agree a lot of things that he has done in terms of how his administration should do, but this is one thing that I definitely want to give my two thumbs.
Very exception.
Yes.
Right. Okay, now, if I were Donald Trump myself, I would have done the same thing. Reason being, okay, here's my analysis. Correct me if I'm wrong, all right? I know you have better thought all the time than I do.
No,
okay.
I
Now,
try to.
China, instead of doing the things what they do in the past, like buying American debts, right? With a payback and far, far, far away, you're talking about 20, 30, 40 years down the road though, instead of doing that, they now say, okay, let's put the surplus, the extra money, into another use. Okay, call it another basket. If you have two baskets, better than one, right? So picking another basket, it is not a single investment. I mean, single paying out. It is investment. You're country A, you need an airport, okay? Here's the money, go ahead, build the airport. If you need equipment, I have equipment for you, right? If you need labor force, I have labor force for you. And then once the airport is built, China started getting the interest, the benefit from it, right? It is a loan, it is investment.
That is, I agree with you. Beyond that, I do see there is a broader benefit, a broader interest that resulted from this action. Think about this, why that ISIS is so popular in the Middle East area, right? Think about this. If those soldiers would have better job, decent payment, a house to live, a family to love, a better life, would they be able still fighting for ISIS?
Explode themselves?
To explode themselves, kill themselves like a bomb? Yeah, I think that all the wars is just because poverty.
You are right.
Some prophet said many thousand years ago, right? And
I'm leading a dog life. I don't care, all right? Let's die.
Exactly.
Like
my
that.
life is meaningless. How would I kill my life and by killing others, right? This is the mindset of those most of the
Makes sense.
The problem rooted from, right?
Makes sense.
And also, what if we improve the living environment and improving the social and economic situation in those areas, and by boosting more jobs and more businesses, and ultimately, basically, the terrorist or terror problem will be removed.
All right,
from that area. However, as a government, my understanding about the government over there, they have an intention, they have a wills, but they do not have a means. They do not have financial means. They don't have money, right? Because many years of fighting together, basically destroying everything over there.
Okay, my dear audience, let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll just exactly pick up from that point, because I believe that we're really hitting the nails on the head. Because it is really two issues that you're talking about. You're talking about justice issue, you're talking about humanity issue, okay? When justice, humanity are combined though, I believe that we are talking about a better world. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Thank you. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the show. My lovely audience, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the nice discussion in depth about the Belt and the Road. Joining me in the discussion is my good friend, an educator, a thinker, a close friend, backbone of the community, my dear friend, Lo Wei, founder and CEO of California Sunshine Education Center, now principal of Weihai number 2 high school, whereby number one, right? Number 1 high school, number 1, whereby they combine the Chinese curriculum with the American curriculum to produce a different system, to which I see myself a different result. I see different kids. I see better kids. And now he elevated what he is trying to do to the Weihai experimental school of foreign languages. Right. So whereby he holds a board member position. So now we let him use the educator's perspective to analyze what's going on with the Belt and the Road. We were exactly at the point that we're talking about Middle East. when everything comes into a havoc, people do not care, right? Do not care, and they do not even care about their own lives. Now, from other perspective, other angles, if you push to increase their life standard, that something will happen.
That's right. That's right. Basically, poverty is the answer for a lot of world problems, terror problems, humidity problems, disasters, and war and fighting each other, basically. The war is just fight because we do not have enough resources for people to share. So they fight, trying to get resources, a piece of a bread, right? That's basically the original idea how the war started. And still not changed 1,000 years after that. I think that by investing on the infrastructures, as you just said, that the infrastructure's connectabilities will be also improving the life standard. First of all, you will have a better transportation after the infrastructure is upgraded.
That's for sure.
You will have a better opportunity to migrate for businesses, and you will be lower down the cost of transportation. And so because of cost of lower down cost of transportation, and your business cost is lowered down, and more business will be attracted.
Your product or native produce get a chance to export it to other countries for money?
That's right, because of the road built, and more jobs will be needed, be created, right? And we'll hire more people instead of letting them just fighting each other. So that's basically a root reason or grassroots reason that we see these initiatives can benefiting countries around China. And also, by China's doing that, also improve the world situation in safety and security. Because more people get job and less people getting fighting, and then this world will be getting safer and less. They become concerned global citizens. That's right. That's right. Yeah, because of connectability improved, they more put themselves in a global perspective. They are not isolated. They are no more regarded as a Yahoo barbarian in a remote countryside, right? They are more connected with the rest of the world. And then this world will be getting better. That's profound change that China will make, and China together with USA and other countries would made to this world.
Speaking of USA, speaking of us, right? Here, the following is my take, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, once again, right? If there are two pushes, one from the justice end, right? Like say the bombing of Syria. Okay, you kill your own people with the poison gas. Okay, here's the consequences. See, 59 missiles.
That's right.
We bomb you.
That's right.
That's the approach from the justice point of view.
That's right.
Now, China as partner 2, partner number A, partner number B says, okay, here is the humanitarianism approach. Okay, I want to make poor people richer, not poor, and regular people richer, and I will make everything from bottom up. For people to see, okay, now, if you look my way, you look my way, this is the future you want to see. You want to enjoy, okay? If you do not, you die your own way, something like that. Now, when we say it is smart for United States to decide to join, though, is that once United States joins, it goes that two ways. I have my justice way, I have my humanitarian way. Am I right?
If I have to categorize the ways you just put it out, I would say number one way is a reactive way.
All right, reactive.
Reactive way. Another way, which is the Belt Road suggested, is the proactive way.
Okay, active and proactive.
Proactive.
All right, good.
Reactive way.
All right, more
reactive.
Reactive and proactive.
The drawback of a reactive way is that there is a problem already, right? You react to it. So it's basically you kill it and you treat it as with the extreme way or even more powerful way as it proposed for the problem, right? And then probably sometimes you create more problems. That that is
you're talking about rebounds.
Rebounds, right? That's if you kill the war. Of course, you have to kill the war by creating more wars, powerful wars on it, right? You create more problems. That's what USA did in Iraq.
Fighting for peace in the war.
That's
right. Okay.
And 1,000 years experience and history is telling us this not solve the fundamental problem.
All right.
Foundations of the reactive way.
Okay,
that's
good.
Right. Another way is proactive way.
Proactive. Okay.
Right. We deal the problem before the problem becomes problem.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
That's the China's way. Okay. I think this is more way. It's more profound and it's more significant for a long-term benefit of human being.
All right. Now, in talking about a reactive way and a proactive way, you sound to be pushing for a philosophy that itself is the call for education, to educate people. No wonder you're an educator, I'm not. So you are thinking in an educator way rather than an entrepreneur, rather than a law or warlord, okay, rather than a banker, something like that. Of course, we do need bankers, right? Even education do that, right? So as a educator, I really believe that is the way to educate people. Do you think so?
I agree with you, and basically, to my lens, to my eyes, that all the world problems are the problems of lack of education.
Okay.
And that's my perspective.
That sounds big. That sounds big. Sounds very
but
big.
Yeah. a lot of times things, that's the ideal world, but in their reality, things are not that simple. And I would say that once the infrastructure built and the fundamental of the country for betterment is laid down, I think is education's business, or is educators' job to put out a system that every citizen or every nationality should be educated based upon the humanity principles.
That's exactly the important. Allow me for a little insert. We just now talking about the milk and the bread is the reason that people fight, right?
That's
okay,
right.
They fight for milk. And then there are exactly people who do not fight for milk and bread. They just fight for what they believe, right? Those are the problem. Those exactly points to the area education. See that?
That's right. And also, I cannot agree more than you just said, that for the terror problems, some of them are created, it resulted from the milk and bread. And but the current terrorists really came from the extreme ideologies
no milk,
from
no
the
bread
religious.
is necessary, right?
Milk and bread is not a problem in that sector, but really extreme ideologies is a problem. And that's the time that for education, for basically broader citizenship education, for broader sector, secular education, and also for a modern education that is.
Suppose if you can put a school in Pyongyang, Korea, right, to educate people, they believe, oh my God, there are bigger things than Kim Il-sung, like that, right? Or Kim Jong-un, right?
Whatever.
So, so, well, the country will even change.
I think that's a little bit more complicated question, a problem, that phenomenon that we want to. Why I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't know the situation over there. I have no idea, no answer for that question because I don't know.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
just
it's
a phenomenon. Example to see the importance.
That's right. And but for the what happened in Middle East, especially for those extreme ISIS. People over there, I think that there's a lack of modern as well contemporary education in terms of how the religion should be practiced, believed in terms of a modern perspective.
All right, that's very important. Education is the key. I believe if you really want to look into the world, I mean, look into the future of the world, the answer is in education. For many, many times, I would say 1 million times I've said at this show, education is the key because it's the key to your future. You're talking about your kids, your own future, your own country. Okay, even if we are talking about one family, you're still talking about education. When you talk about nation, you talk about education, right? So, with the road and the belt thing, you pack yourself concept into the big move, right? What would the government say? And how big to what extent you are welcome?
I would say that because that's a good question. I will happily to share with you what we trying to build up this school with intention. One of the intentions is that we're trying to build the school to echo the cause for the Belt and Road initiative by the local government. Because of a geographic location of this school, that this school will be connecting with part of Russia, part of Korean Peninsula, and of course to Japan. All these countries demonstrated interest to the Belt and Road. And as a matter of fact, that Russia is an active member of the Belt Road Initiative and also active member of AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank.
Infrastructure Investment Bank.
Yes. Actually, how that China can better improve the relationship with those countries is really something that we think about when we build up this school. And
yeah, go ahead.
Because one thing you probably don't know about the city is that there are about 45,000 investors from Far East Russian part visit Weihai. 45,000 tourists every year during the summertime. And the Russian language and also the connection between the Siberian part of Russian with this part of China is really something that need to be explored.
Lots of Chinese still Belaruski these days.
That's right.
Yeah, especially in northeast China, they Belaruski a lot.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And also of definitely North Korean and South Korean. There are about in the booming time there are 45,000 South residents from South Korea permanently living and working in Weihai.
I see.
Yeah, and also there's an
international city.
International citizen over there.
All right, let's take a very short moment out. From that on, when we come back, we'll find out how many languages they are teaching in the experimental school. If they are not doing it right now, how much they want to plan for and how much they need. And just now we say about English teacher, and how about Russian teachers? And how about Korean teachers? How about other language teachers? Well,
Spanish teacher.
International city and international school. All right, stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks, my lovely audience, welcome back to the show. Jack Xiao is your lovely host for your lovely show. With the G&E TV, me and my team are trying very hard to fill in every blank with every possible information for you. For the past 2 weeks, we've been focusing on the Belt and the Road discussion. It's a big summit, it's a big international, call it the Asian economic development strategy initiated by China. Yet it is echoed by lots of corresponding countries around that area, as far as all the way across the ocean to the United States, including Canada. Good. Now, with my friend and educator, Mr. Wei Luo, founder and CEO of California Sunshine Education Center, also principal of Weihai No. 1 High School for their experimental project, where that combines the Chinese curriculum with the American curriculum to produce the third one, which is the one called the Weihai #1 high school curriculum, which produces different kids that I see, I can testify that I see myself. And from there on, success becomes more explored into our higher level. Now in Weihai, you see Weihai Experimental Foreign Language School.
That's right.
Where he holds the chairman of the board position. Question. For that school of Experimental Foreign Language School, how many languages do you prefer, plan to teach?
Basically, we have already had 3 languages.
Oh, 3 already?
English, Spanish, and Korean. And in the future...
4. Chinese.
Oh, Chinese, of course.
Yeah,
4 languages. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you
4
very
languages,
much.
yeah.
Yes, and also in the future, we plan to opening up more language programs. And another initial intention that we're trying to build school for is that we're trying to open up or try to utilize this school or let a East Asian citizen, especially young students, utilize this platform as a gateway to go to Chinese universities and colleges.
Okay.
The other way around.
Okay, yes.
Now we graduate students to send them to foreign,
right.
English and Spanish and Korean universities and colleges to study.
I
Now we are doing the opposite way. We're trying to build up this school as a platform for the students from Russia, from East Asian countries, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Korean, Russian, and Japanese, to go to Chinese universities and colleges for their higher education.
Like a conveyor belt.
That's right.
Like a
There's a pathway, tunnel.
Like a springboard.
Springboard.
To
that's right. Springboard. I like your words. Like a corridor, like a springboard, like a pathway,
yes.
whatever you call it. This is the way.
For that, I have a good example. The son of my good friend Craig Young of Yorba Linda, he was the former mayor of Yorba Linda.
Yes.
The son went to China.
Yes.
To whichever school in Zhejiang or Jiangsu.
That's right.
That province, right? So after graduation, he went to another school, a higher school, and then all the way up, he ended up teaching in one of the universities, teaching the English language. I believe that's Shaoxing University, Shaoxing, Luxun, hometown, right?
That's right.
His hometown.
That's right.
Shaoxing University, very local grassroots university. However, that's a university. He ended up there teaching English. See? That's a way to do.
That's a way to do. A lot of way to do. And also, I think that because Chinese universities in China, basically, they have a different standard and criteria to admit foreign citizen students.
Okay.
For example, if you go to as a Chinese citizen,
you
if
mean
you want
different assessment?
Different assessment. Different standard. Different assessment.
I see.
Yeah, the only universities in China wanted to only assess foreign students.
Just
Chinese,
to attract them.
Just try 3 subjects: Chinese, English, and math. And the test is much more simpler, more easier than the Gaokao that for the local, which is college and entrance exam for local students.
And when they face Gaokao, someday later, when they face Gaokao, though, what do you want to do with them? Still using a different assessment or what?
No, they are not being participating in Gaokao.
What do?
They have a different assessment for foreign students.
Okay, they probably go their own route.
That is right. So they go to Beijing University and Tsinghua University with a much easier assessment than the Chinese students would go through.
And then you're talking about unfair competition in the job market.
It is not because that's a good idea. That's a good point.
Yes.
Basically, yes. Logically, that graduating from a Chinese university and college is basically you're entering Chinese labor market.
Yes, of course.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
But for at this moment, the labor market is not opened for foreign citizens yet.
So they go back to their own home.
They basically go back to their
Which
home.
is not bad, not bad.
Oh, but there's no except. It doesn't mean that there's no exceptions. There are a lot of exceptions, like the kids of your friend.
Of course, of course.
Graduated from Chinese school and also get around with the.
He passed all the tests necessary, and he earned what he earned, so he was confirmed as a professor.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. There's always a way for them to find a position.
To the majority, for them to come to China, to get themselves, say, galvanized, okay, call it galvanized, with a code
regulated
of a gold on.
That's right.
And then going back hometown, say, hey, I'm educated in China, so they can probably have better chance for their job market.
That's right. That's another way around. It doesn't mean that if they cannot go to Chinese labor market, their study in China is valueless. Instead, they will get more. They will gain more value in terms of their multi-language background, their multi-cultural background.
You didn't go to Beijing for the One Belt, One Road discussion, do you?
I should.
Yeah, you should have done that. You should be invited.
I should next time.
Because that's quite a thought. That's a thought that, if you connect people, you're talking about connectivity, right?
That's right.
You connect people with the justice approach, with the reactive approach, with the proactive approach, different ways, right?
That's right.
Now, we're talking about with the educational approach.
Yeah.
That's the educational approach.
That's a proactive approach.
That's included into the proactive.
That's a fundamental to kill a problem.
Very good, very good. So next time I'll write to Xi Jinping, say, hey, I recommend Wei Lo to come join the summit. And Xi Jinping will say, who are you?
I'm ready for it. Doesn't matter, Mr. Xi, what will Mr. Xi say to me, but I'm ready for it.
Okay. Once again, say something about your experimental school. I really, really believe that there are candidates among my audience for your school.
Yes, and
dear
friends, candidates. Although we're old friends. Although I don't meet you personally after the studio. Outside of the studio, but I still believe that you are my friend out there. And a friend, if you are just retired from Korea and trying to share your experience with Chinese students, and also for youngsters. And younger students, younger friends, you just graduate from college, from graduate school, and you are transiting in between for your next stop of your career. Probably this is a place for you to practice your teaching and to try to share your life experience in America. And here's the place. We pay for your transportation. We pay for your room and board.
Okay,
and
very
the
good.
Only thing you want to do is that you want to share.
All right, we pay for your ocean air, beach walking.
That's right.
Dog walking.
And also
shell picking.
And another thing I want to share with you is that Weihai is the only city in north part of Yangtze River that has the cleanest air, cleanest water, and less smog.
Okay, very good.
In China.
All right, sounds enough. And my dear audience, today I'm so happy to touch base with you on the One Belt, the Belt and the Road. Oh, there are two translations. There are some say One Belt, One Road. I think that's wrong. The way I do is the Belt and the Road.
Belt and Road.
The Belt and Road, right? And we're talking about the Belt Road, the strategy. In talking about strategy, we take another perspective, brand new perspective. We're talking about the grassrooted approach, the proactive approach, talking about education. With me, my good friend Wei Lo, founder and CEO of California Sunshine Education Center, of president of #1 High School of Weihai, Shandong Province, and now board member, chairman of the board of Weihai Experimental School for Foreign Languages. So thank you very much for coming, for sharing. And congratulations once again for the promotion. And to my audience, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jack.